Hi everyone, welcome to today's game of Tomb Annihilation. I am your friend, DM, the leader of the heist. Joining here with me today are my comrades. I've got the hacker Jason, the planner Sam, the drifter Mark, and the maverick I leveraged using our tumultuous past onto joining the heist, Muty.
I just didn't
We
take the
open
screen movie.
today in Sabal. The The group has been allowed to sleep in until the wonderful hour of probably 8 a.m., if you had to guess. The house is noisy. It's not at all the quiet that it's usually been. There's Shago's deep voice sort of rumbling throughout as he's must be idly talking to his son. You can hear artists idly playing the guitar, and there's the sounds of plates being set for breakfast. Tyrion's gramophone is playing a little bit louder than it should be, and you can hear tinny voices and operata. That's what you wake up to.
So actually a pretty relaxed morning.
Yeah, for once, actually. We don't have to worry about running anywhere. Well, at least not yet. Is breakfast being prepared, or is that already being handled?
It has already been set out. It's mostly leftovers from the day before, the fruits and some eggs. The eggs haven't been freshly made, but everything else is clearly from last night's feast.
Himself a little.
Like the night before. Hmm?
He gets himself a little fruit salad going with some scrambled eggs on the side.
Okay. Coffee has been set out for Koshak and Dulaneth. In the living room, Majonari is getting prepared, suiting up herself for adventuring and going through the portal, braiding her hair, getting the boots laced on, that sort of deal. Shago is on his cot. He has Na in his lap, and they're reading through this dusty yellow book that looks older than everybody in this room combined.
Cole makes his plate of the leftover meats with eggs and a singular scoop of whatever fruit is available. Literally as little as
Watermelon
possible
left.
as he can get.
There's no more watermelon left. So
Mango, strawberries, berries, blackberries, raspberries. There's a lot of fruit.
He gets some
There's so
mango.
much fruit.
Tuvaneth exits her room with her fully packed backpack, which she just sort of unceremoniously dumps on the floor and walks over to the table to recreate the exact same sandwich she had the night before, but with staler bread, and, and enjoys the cup of coffee that was sent to her.
Cole enjoys the coffee as well.
Oh, me, sorry. Jesus. Not here today. Jet's gonna walk out, see Shago, and, like, just put his head down and go to the table and just, yeah. Absolutely embarrassed, but he's just gonna go to the table, just pull food to, like, basically just play with and not eat. But, yeah. Then he'll just sit there.
Good morning, Jet. Good morning, Shago. Soul. Luvani.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hello.
Morning.
Are you going to eat, Jet? We're going to be traveling for a while.
I'll probably bring something with me. I'm fine.
Alright. Just, make sure you eat something. Don't want you to be out in the jungle starving. So you
No.
start picking up berries that you shouldn't be picking up.
Or dehydrated.
If I want berries, I'll probably just see if Cole could find me any. It should be good.
There's no strawberries or blackberries in the forest.
Jet starts collecting more blueberries and strawberries and putting it in a napkin.
Missionary will stand up, shouldering a backpack and looking vastly uncomfortable with having to use one. Right. I have your rations and your insect salves prepared. I completely forgot the number you originally asked for, so I just rounded up 40 and 20. If you need more insect salves, just ask. But, like, I
40
think
of
20
which
should be
and
fine for a while.
40 of which and 20 of which?
40 rations,
All right.
20 insect salves.
And are those the tubs of insect salve or like put on yourself like
Are they the ones we burn in the
portions of salve?
fire, or the ones we put on ourselves?
You can
Alright.
burn insect salve?
Like the incense.
No, it's the one you put on your skin. I made sure not to use anything any of you might be allergic to if that's what you're worried about. I know that in Port Nansar they tend to use a lot of I don't know the word for it.
Chemicals.
Uh, uh,
So if we return from Mangalore and you aren't back yet, should we try ascending? Is there some sort of procedure that we should do if you're not back yet?
um, I honestly don't know. I'll make sure to leave the code on how to get to Shilku Bay with Tyrion. I've already sent last night. I sent one of the fastest flyers to Shilku just in case I get stuck there. If I'm not back, just I don't know, hang on tight.
Okay. Also, is there a way that we should address your great 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 grandmother? Do you have any tips on?
Um, so the important thing to remember with Selkare is that she's not a queen anymore. She was disowned, removed from office, and sent into exile. So don't refer to her with any titles. Don't call her lady. Don't say anything that would invoke the ideas of office. But don't just call her Zalkare. Call her ma'am, call her miss, some type of honorific. You all should be fine. I have talked to her a little bit about each of you. So you should be fine. And you have artists with you, so you should be extra fine. You guys should be fine.
Um, do, does it seem like she actually thinks we'll be fine?
Applications. It was applications of salve was the word I was looking for.
getting a read on her is a little bit harder than normal. She's composing herself carefully. It seems less about being fine. She's nervous about something else.
Are you okay? Seem off,
Yeah, I'm
nervous.
no, I'm fine. Yeah, I mean, of course I'm nervous. I mean, you guys are gonna go talk to my great grandma without me. She's grieving. She doesn't have she has a lot of time and not a lot to do, so she talks. Um, she may ask some prying questions. You guys are all very private people. Koshak is the whole you want tea thing. Koshak's got the whole you want tea thing. There's just a lot. There's just a lot, and I'm not going to be there. And there's just a lot that I can't control. But you'll be fine.
It's fine. Jet just has to ask her about some garden
Orchard.
orchard.
Yeah, and Valkyrie does. I mean, Nangalore has a great orchard. So that'll be. I'm gonna go get the portal set up. I'll talk to you guys when you get back. If I die, my last will and testament is on my bedroom table.
Oh, I know it. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
How will we
Oh,
know
wait,
if you die? If you do die?
A portal to Avernus will open up in Omu, and demons will start to walk on the ground, and the dead will rise up from the earth and slowly start to reclaim, and the ground will open. There's a lot of apocalyptic stuff.
Oh, so at least
Wait,
we won't be confused.
Wait.
Things already happening, isn't it?
What are you confused about?
I'm confused about the part where you're knowingly putting yourself in danger if that could be the outcome, and also
Well, I mean, you're also putting
But-
yourself into danger knowing that the outcome of your death is the death of
But
restoring
our
the
death
world.
doesn't it does result in apocalypse, kind of, but not to the extent of the entire portal to the Nine Hells opening up. So there's that.
To be fair, this might be more of a cultural. This will be what will happen if the royalty of Amu dies out, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Even so, that's an entire royal lineage gone, which also isn't good.
I mean,
Well, I mean,
the
Nal's
entire.
buried there too.
I mean, Nal's a man. He doesn't pass on the royal lineage.
Oh,
I mean, I'll be fine. If I didn't die from the terror folk, the grung, that one incident with the ghouls, the many times the gargoyles tried to attack me, the one time I got the measles, falling off of Kirsabal, that other time that group of adventurers tried to kill me, I'll be fine.
The unkillable princess, it seems.
well,
Thank
don't
you.
say that. But she'll be fine.
Yeah, but I'll be fine. It's
Not that
this
much.
talk is making me very nervous.
join the club.
Apologies.
Oh, one more thing. Okay. Zachary may ask one of you all to escort her around. She'll offer her arm. What you do when you take your arm is she will extend it like this, You cup her elbow and do not touch anything else. Don't accidentally brush her arm. If she holds out her hand, don't take it. Kiss the back of it. Touch her as little as possible.
Dare I ask what happens if we do touch her?
No, it's just rude.
Oh, okay. I don't know how Medusas work. I haven't really met one before.
Oh, I mean, it's a genetic thing, so it's not, you can look at her. Like, you'll be fine.
Hmm.
It's not so much a curse with these.
The longevity that comes with it is it's a big thing. Okay, I'm going to go to the portal. I don't want to think about you guys talking to my sister anymore.
Okay.
We'll see you soon.
Cool. I will see you guys before the end of the day. Hopefully. Don't forget about the King of Feathers being out. Don't forget about the Wed Wizards. And don't forget about any of the other various dangers in the jungle. And she'll say that as she's backing up out of the house and then she'll leave.
Jet puts his huge pile of berries wrapped in a napkin in his bag. No, in his pocket. In his pocket, in his vest.
See you when you are.
So, artists, are we ready to go?
Artist will look up and he'll nod. He'll stand up. He'll turn to Dragonbait. Dragonbait will also stand up. And the two will head out of the house. Dragonbait will keep the door open for the others to pass through.
When Cole goes through the door, he gives Dragonbait a polite nod and says thank you.
Is Tyrion in the area?
He is, but he's barely awake.
Chet will just go over and kiss his head and say, "Go get some rest. I'll be back." And he'll walk out.
Devoneth will heave up her
Tyrion
bag.
makes a...
Oh, sorry.
No, go on.
I love Jason's little thing. He's like, "Ooh, cute moment. I gotta stop."
No. I just want to be ultra clear that even though it's a 1 hour outing, Devoneth is bringing her whole ass kit, all of it, and she will head that way.
As the group leaves, you'll hear Shago and Na, wave and say goodbye. And as the group filters out, Dragonbait releases the smells of lemons, and as he's following, there's lemon and a heavy tar smell, and he kind of keeps periodically pumping his fist in the air. Thankfully, due to the small size, Artis is able to summon a great feathered winged beast using the Ring of Winter, the shards and the humidity of the air kind of gathering into shards of ice, featuring this heavy, giant winged beast. And Artis will, wave everybody on. He's got a blanket for Koshak to sit on. The group
it's a bird?
sits on the... Yeah, it's a bird.
Kojak is grabbing on tightly to whoever will let him.
Cole will allow for Chaboy to koala.
It's like a boa constrictor on your arm.
My hand's a little bit numb. Could you let up? No, okay, nope.
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. Soul's trying to act cool, but he's also nervous.
Artis will take a seat at the head of the beast, running a hand over its feathers. while he talks. It will be a short flight. We're going to be coasting over the trees. Be no hard turns. It's just straightforward. If you get nauseous, yes, Duvaneth.
What do we do in the case of an aerial emergency?
In the case of an aerial, what kind of emergency?
For example, the cabin depressure. Okay, I'm done.
What do we have to do in case we make a water landing?
If we make a water landing, you will be dead by then.
Does Koashok's blanket function as a flotation device?
No, your flotation device is your lungs. This is before modern airplane safety. We are.
Isn't suburbs and soccer moms? We don't have to talk about airplanes.
If at any point during the flight you experience an expulsion of bodily fluids, don't. Do it off of the side or swallow it.
Exits can be seen over the wings.
For those seated in the designated throw-up rows, you're by to ask if you're comfortable performing the duties.
I'll be right back after use the bathroom.
Thank you. Please don't make me regret doing this. I hate flying people. He'll turn around and pat the side of the beast's head, and things tuck in, and it stands up, and it's already a 20, 30-foot ascent with it just extending to its full height. And the wind is already strong, pulling and rushing at your hair, tugging and even threatening to have laces undone. Duvaneth is grounded by the sheer weight of her pack. The bird tips forward, and your stomachs hit your throat as it free falls, just coasting down the 500-foot decline. And right before it hits the ground, it spreads its wings, and there's a rush of pressure as the group goes from 10 feet off the ground to well over 50, 100, 150, 200, and you guys are soaring well over the tree lines of the Chilten jungle. You can, from this distance, see Firefinger. You can see Port Nyanzaru. There's some large galleons at the port that you can see the fine detailing of. You can...
I'll get in on this. Hold on.
So already barfing.
You can see Mesro off in the distance. No fires, but there's smoke pluming out of several regions of it. You can see everything. And Chult from up here is beautiful. There's herds of stegosauruses and brontosauruses peeking up over the trees, nobbing on leaves. And it's not soon before Nongalore comes into view. It's a high building, sort of built up against what must have been a cliff face or some type of tiered area that's long been wiped away by constant storms and other things. River Orlung has cut across the front of it, and you can already see, just from the aerial view, that a large portion of it has been washed out with water, swallowed with water. And very slowly, you come to a descent, agonizingly slowly. The bird's wings clip against some tree branches, and several of you are jostled. It doesn't throw anybody off, but he gets really close to it, and that's worse.
Cole might be crying.
Cole threw up as soon as they left the grounds.
The tucks in its wings, and it glides slowly down and skimming across the River Orlung, overshoots Nongalore by several hundred feet before coming to a slow water landing. And it'll still in the water, half submerged. And the group can see some crocodiles sort of coming over to investigate, and the bird just eats one like a war.
Oh, okay.
Like everyone's gearing up to fight one of the crocodiles, and then the bird just
Pretty much.
Like a pelican, just like go.
mine.
As we passed by Nangalore, were there any signs of life? I mean, obviously it looks really decrepit. Were there like smoke or lights, lanterns? Well, actually, it's probably bright, so neither. Mostly smoke or some people milling about or anything like that.
Make me a perception check.
16.
A cursory, I hate Rose, with a cursory glance over, you're not able to get much of a bead. You're able to see birds flocking about, but the brightly vivid colors of everything, of all the flowers and the masonry, it's really hard to get a bead on the movement. There is no smoke, though.
Okay. Place looks deserted.
Well, I mean, most people, I believe, Marjolarie mentioned that it'd be kind of empty, save for her great grandmother.
I know. I'm saying if you're going to live in a place, at least maintain it. Look, never mind. Sure.
Fair enough.
If you're gonna treat yourself like royalty, at least make your spot look like royalty. God.
Oh,
You
no,
all
I'm still
depart the
trying to get
bird.
the taste out of my mouth.
You all depart the bird, and Artis wave his hand. And instead of dispelling it, he sort of just gestures a circular motion, and the bird will take off and just sort of fly around aimlessly, occasionally casting a great dark shadow over the group.
Freak soul out whenever that happens.
It activates his, like, you know how babies freak out because the carousels are, you know,
Yeah.
I think
Cole is
Just
also
there.
very unnerved.
I think Sam was saying that it's a very large bird. It might look a bit like a scaly flying monstrosity, and that's why Soul isn't really that big into it. That's what I'm thinking. Anyways, onward.
PTSD.
Jesus.
Got my backpack. Let's go. Swiper, no swiping.
Fucking Christ.
Where are we going?
Trek towards the trek towards Nongalore is a little longer than it should be. There's a lot of picking through the heavy roots of long dead trees. You for a lot more dinosaur carcasses than you'd like. Aren't fresh. There's more than 3 that are fresh. So that's something to look forward to.
Oh, great.
Do they look like they were killed by, like, I know the answer. I'm pretty sure I know the answer. Do they look as though they were killed by like a group of huntspeople, or is it more like there's always a bigger fish?
There's bites taken out of them. Just right off the bat, looking at it, a lot of scavengers, but there are some pretty big chunks in the exceptionally fattier or meatier areas on the shoulder and in the stomach.
It's
Anything
killing
that
for
looks
sport.
No, I was literally about to say that.
yeah, like anything that looks like a
First
killing
blood.
blow. Yeah, do we see anything that looks like a killing blow on them?
I mean, not having a stomach tends to kill things.
Most dinosaurs, they kill because they need to eat. This
True.
one, killing for sport.
Jesus.
Where's that from?
It's from Jurassic Park.
World.
Oh yes, yes.
Damn
To watch that, that'd be a good movie.
Yeah,
Um,
does there look as though there's a secure way to pass through there without getting near any, or they look long dead, or dead enough that we're not worried about them like lashing out at us, right?
they're dead by at least 12 hours. There's already like flies doing their decomposition thing.
Dead enough for me. Devon will just take a bandana.
They ain't getting any better.
Okay, let me just check this one thing.
Me, that reminds me of how much I just love the Emperor's New Groove.
As they pass the dinosaur bodies, if there's any that Cole can just like reach out and touch, he's going to like do basic last rites for the dinosaurs.
Aw.
You can touch all of them.
Aww.
I think it's a little bit sticky every time.
Stop. Cease.
Oh my.
Ooh, the ambient noises.
I drop the volume.
Nice.
Okay.
I can't see anything.
Yeah.
Yes, because I forgot to set your tokens down.
That'll do it.
It's okay.
That's an easy fix.
Very easy fix. Just give me a moment.
Why does it say I'm on Jabal's map? Right. Ugh. This is great though.
I like the noises.
As you approach the last stretch of hitting Bangalore, the ground that you're walking on slowly melts and is overcome by the river. It isn't deep, and it definitely isn't as deep as it was in Mesro, but it's definitely swallowing up to your ankles, and occasionally reeds or roots will tug at your feet, and you'll brush up against fish or some type of moving, writhing thing. And there's just a constant reminder of how unusual this whole thing is. Dropping the wastrels. I'm glad you guys like the ambient sounds.
I do. I'm vibing.
It's oddly soothing, but also yet I'm like, there is something hiding in all of these
It's
sounds.
in the trees.
It's in the trees.
Ooh.
Ooh, well, I guess
Pretty.
Mark can see. I'm going to hang up on 80. Oh goodness.
There's things I shouldn't see.
Oh, there's a lot going on here. Oh, so cool.
Yeah,
Oh, you got to like line up too.
I blocked off 2 places, but I'm not sure how well I blocked them off.
Top left, you can see
Um,
things.
Just don't.
That's
Don't
why.
see
That's
it.
why I'm not doing that. I was like, oh, I'm not supposed to see that. Okay.
Okay. Is that a little lip to this sort of plateau that this temple complex is on?
Certified check.
A fantastic edifice
Oh.
rises up out of the jungle, a hanging garden of beauty. Duvanis, with your special interest in architecture, you've most definitely heard about this place.
Oh wow!
There's water. Hmm?
I said, "Oh wow, really?" That I to me that means it's super notable. Out of, I'm excited.
Water streams down the steps, the lip that you recognized, between two massive Tyrannosaurus Rex carvings, and you can see a plumage of feathers. Beyond them, a broad, flooded avenue runs arrow straight for more than 100 feet before ending at a carving of a hummingbird face. Water pours from the hummingbird's beak and flows the length of the avenue to drain on the steps in front of you where it gathers and meets in the river. There's 5 foot high terraces flanking the avenue, low archways, 3 on each side built into the terrace walls. These the archways are in various stages of collapse, as are the tunnels beyond them. And in between the arches are beautifully carved, well done stone faces made out of the same white material stone that was in Mesro. You can see that there's obvious attempts at repair. There's mountains of rubble gathered where moths and bugs and spiders have sort of gathered in between the stones. And along some of the terraces, you can see obvious signs of very badly done repair. On the terraces are a wild profusion of plants and parrots of all colors and canaries of all colors are sort of lilting and singing between them. There's ripe fruit trees on every single terrace, bearing heavy mangoes. And to the north, you can see a giant dome with the roof caved in, and that's where the large Tyrannosaurus head, hummingbird head, is mounted. The water spout. They're smaller, bell-shaped domes on the highest terraces to your left and right. It is beautiful. It's amazing. It smells amazing. And there's a lot happening visually. Despite its disrepair, it is already a work of art. So there's nobody there.
All right, where do, where do you think we could find her?
I'd say we'd have to go upwards in order to have any chance of finding her. But the dome might be a good place to start.
I think that's a good idea. That's what I was thinking.
I agree. Good plan.
Jet's gonna take out the rod of alertness, have it in his hand, and usually that's what he's gonna do from now on.
God bless.
Duvanith will also take out a rod of alertness, an arrow, and place it on her bowstring.
Jet doesn't have a weapon. Might as well. He just has a shield.
So perhaps we can get up to this top level and then go in that way. I think I can sort of spy some stairs leading into the space from here.
All right, let's do it.
How likely is it that this place is trapped?
I would say we should exercise caution.
I
Then Soul looks at Duvanith and Koashak as the two people that are good at such things and not Soul.
Once we get up and get closer, I think it would be more advantageous to do that. As it is right now, we're not anywhere close to where we need to be.
Yeah, people trap what's important. They don't trap like
You hear the low growl of crocodiles approaching.
all right, up we go.
Wait for everyone else to go and then he'll go up.
Make our way downtown.
Walking fast. Spaces fast, homebound.
do. Sorry, I just want to be involved on that one.
And I need you. And I miss you.
Now I wonder.
Okay,
Can we
well,
climb this waterfall?
Yeah, it's basically just like steps that have like flooded, right?
Yeah, you can walk down. It's only like 5 feet climb, so like normal stairs.
Are
So
you going to
as
be
you-
going, Koshak?
Oh, I said Koshak was making his way upstairs.
Oh, don't forget to move your token.
Worm.
Yes, move your token. If a scene starts, that is where you will be when the scene starts.
And now that people are all the way up, so we'll join everyone.
Climbing up the steps and looking around. Let me check the notes. Duvanith, while sort of peeking around, you can see the fine details of dull clothes and skeletal hands trapped against some of the trees. Of note, across the avenue, against the big tree with the bushes in between them, you can see the body of a desiccated man grasping at tangled vines around his throat.
Duvanith will reach out and tap Koashak on the shoulder and point to that. Ow! Jeez. We'll point at that and say, "Is the tree doing that by itself, or was that nature magic?"
Can Cole investigate or make an Arcana check?
From that distance, it would be hard to tell, but you can try. Give me a. Give me a nature check.
You got it. 15.
Oh,
So that was the tree, but the tree was asked to do that.
Okay, so technically, yes, the tree did strangle them to death, but it was asked to do that.
Would it be considered magic? Or in that case?
I can say with good assumption it was magic.
So we're okay to go near the trees.
Yes. Unless you want me to tell the tree what to do, I can do that too.
we would be asking it to strangle it for us.
But I think that means that our host might also have similar magic to you, Cole.
Well, this is the woman that taught Koskal her magic, unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised. Though she's most likely much more powerful than I am.
didn't Costco say she was She had a patron? Or was that... Am I losing my brain, or did she actually mention that one night?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, Coach Hall
Okay.
says she's like a warlock.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
okay.
thinking
I
that
remember...
this is her patron.
Like, Jet wanted to fucking question it, but I think we just, like... She was like, okay, bye!
Yeah.
Yeah, she
OOC,
left really quick.
OOC, Soul is saying that this is her patron that we're going to go
Oh,
meeting.
10 foot.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I was going off of what Devon had said, it was the same magic.
You're
Well,
suggesting
that-
Devoneth understands magic at all.
Well, no, I agree. No, Jet agrees with Devon that it looks like what this
Oh, yeah.
entity has the same as Cole, which is druid magic, not warlock magic.
All right. Well, should we press forward, maybe up to that staircase up there, so we can get on that higher mezzanine?
Sounds
I
good.
it
Yeah, I
looks
think that'd be a
almost-
good idea.
The way that looks, it looks like it's almost going into the building, unless I'm mistaken. Like that sort of like archway above it.
Fish, can you clarify? Is that a staircase going up, or is that a staircase going in?
1
Okay.
second, because the map disappeared for
Oh,
me.
no.
Oh, no.
Powerful. This is really good ambiance.
Mhm.
I'm enjoying that.
It's really nice.
I'm really glad. Can you describe to me what you're gesturing at?
So there's this large tree in front of us, and I have a measurement. I don't know if you can see it there.
Yeah, I can.
No, I can't see Foundry.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So there, on the right side of the temple, there is a large tree with its root structure growing into what looks to be a staircase, and that staircase, goes. It has like a little arch. Is that staircase going up onto that little like tiny walkway near that garden-looking structure, or is that actually a doorway that might lead to like a underground entrance of the temple?
Okay, I'm watching Sam String. Are you gesturing over it?
Yeah, like where I'm
yeah,
gesturing is
right
where I'm
here.
walking. Like you see how like it has like the little like arch above it?
Yes.
I'm wondering if that's like an entrance or a.
I'm checking right now.
The videos might have gotten fucked up, Mark, when I made the stream. I'm not sure.
It's fine. Yeah, it moved me and Muty, but I have 2 pictures up, so we're good till it moves back.
Okay.
Yeah, it's leading both upwards and downwards.
I'm not sure what you mean by that. So
Like
that stairwell leads up to that little embankment from our perspective because we're low. Okay. Yes.
Okay. So then, yeah, let's head for that.
Okay. Let's do that.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Devoneth will walk that general direction.
Soul. And tell us when we have to stop Fish.
Okay, cool.
Or when Foundry
Cole,
is
when
back up.
did you learn how to levitate? That was just funny.
When I can't move my screen. Ah, fucking bother.
Artist and Dragon Bait are probably with us, I imagine.
Oh, fuck.
They're somewhere.
They're chilling outside.
It's like a jump cut, and it's artist like, I didn't know you could touch the trees, and Dragon Bait like.
Yeah, they have their own Snoopy and Woodstock B plot going on right now.
Gotta
I
love
can't
it.
move my screen. God help me.
What do you mean move your screen, like the map?
Yeah.
Right click and drag.
Right click on the map, not your token, and then drag. And it will move
There we
the
go.
map.
There you go.
Also, if you're on like a touchpad or something that helps is if you like say something, it will it'll move everyone's cameras to that, which is a little bit of a pain for us. But as long as you stay with it, with us, it shouldn't be an issue. But yeah, Soul's moving this way.
Oh, so we're gonna move across that little indentation.
This my idea, yes.
Yeah, I like that.
Let's take a 10-minute break here.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
We'll be right back, guys, as soon as we can.
Yes.
Hi everyone, I'm back, and welcome to our heist planning situation session. Damn it! It has taken a brief detour. We're playing D&D. The half of the party has stepped onto the upper terraces, where plants and shrubbery have started to overtake the stone flooring. And Kurashak and Jet, are you going to join the others?
Yes. There we go.
The natural perfume of the flowers only gets stronger from here.
Oh no.
Right as we get back.
Great frozen face though.
It is very. Wait. Oh, wait. We haven't done Frozen Face in forever.
Got it.
Thank you.
Oh. Oh no, she crashed.
Yeah. I think it's just a little bit too much for her current hardware to handle to do both camera and the other thing at the same
Yeah,
time.
she can jump off camera. Tweet, tweet,
Right.
tweet, tweet.
Verbally?
She's trying to talk. I see her lighting up.
Ah!
Hello.
Oh no!
Did she freeze again?
We were just about to speed run all the way to the big bad evil guy.
Get
Frozen.
everything. All right, I'm getting this
Yeah.
one too.
Thank you.
Ugh,
That sucks.
yeah.
Yeah.
My god, can
There
you
we go.
guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let me check where you guys are.
All right. I need to find a photo for the DM chair for when this happens.
Just a picture of me.
Huh?
So,
Oh yeah.
can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So across the embankment that you guys were sort of like gathered in the flooring beneath you, where that garden is, you can see the flooring has been choked out with an array of brilliant flowers. There's natural perfume hanging, and you can see sort of gathered along the stairs are a few frail petaled purple lilies of some kind. And noticeably, there's a lot of imported plants, roses, flowers from all along the entire world, just managing to stay together despite the obvious difference in climates. A lot of the plants here are being preternaturally kept together. Koshak. This is the most natural and at ease you've ever felt being in a place. There's a lot of snakes gathered around, and you can sort of feel the thumb of their idle talks and conversations as they go about their business. And most notably, all of you can feel standing on that main walkway area, the very quiet rush of water underneath you. Across from you, at the very end, is the most preserved building in the entire place. A large dome where there's dome. Wow. A large dome where bat heads, bat figurines are sort of poking out at every corner. The steps are well preserved, and leading up to it, you guys can see like scarves and sun bleached textiles sort of hanging luxuriously around. If you had to take a safe guess, someone of renown was staying in there. Around the corner, standing in front of steps leading upwards into the mezzanine, is a very familiar grung. He's red, and he has paint over him, and he's where? Can you guys still hear me?
Yep.
Yep. Just listening.
I'm
Asking.
whistling in excitement.
And he's very familiar. He has new painted markings on his body, and the spear that he always kept with him is decorated with new feathers and flowers. The champion of Dung Ronglung and the obsessor of Kushkal and Art Mojunari. He
What was this one?
waves.
What was this one's name again?
Horror?
Rourke.
Rourke?
Rourke. I'm pretty sure.
Rourke. I don't have my book with me.
I also. Duval's just gonna kind of lean in and say, "I also stole his bag. I don't know if he knows."
Let's not tell him.
Don't tell him. And also it was Majunari's bag. But so we'll wave and walk forward.
Rourke will start to walk forward. He'll wave at Soul, and then he'll kind of drop a little lower to the ground, level the spear. As he's walking forward, he's taking on a very threatening stance, and
Oh, boy.
just from the distance, you can see that he's like quivering as he's holding himself back.
So like puts his hands up very much non-confrontationally. You don't speak any common, if I remember correctly. Do you
Yes,
speak
I
English?
do.
Oh. Sorry.
That's good, because I don't think I have tongues prepared today.
I'm glad to see you're
That's
alive.
nice.
Oh, I do.
I'm glad to see that you're alive.
What are you here for?
Majwanari suggested we go meet her relative.
That's nice.
We would like to visit her. If she's in there. I'm assuming that's what you're guarding.
No, she isn't in there. She's in the building over there, and we'll point to the dome right across the walkway. Shake as he does.
Can Jet insight why he's scared?
He's not scared.
Oh.
He's angry.
He an angry boy.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
His 3-foot tall body is quaking with rage.
Okay, never mind.
Apologies about betraying you that one time. We wanted to make
You
sure.
mean stealing my bag, stealing the princess I was in love with?
Oh, we knew that. We knew that.
Duval will just say, "Stealing your bag?"
Stealing the princess?
I mean, you were going to murder her against her will.
Well, he wasn't, in fairness.
He wasn't. Your boss is going to murder her against her will.
And
Well, what
Deeper
would you
love.
have done then?
follow her.
We
I would have
We
flayed
is a very-
myself across the field. What?
we is a very strong word.
Also, I'm pretty sure she's a lesbian, at least as far as I'm aware. So, kind of big yikes.
A what?
Tuvana's
The thought of
Jace's
Soul
face.
saying big yikes.
Yeah, just gonna like step back, just step back one when Soul brings this conversation up.
I thought she was a mooing.
That was a great Vine reference. 10 out of 10.
Well done.
That's very good. I'm not qualified to have this conversation. I still have to finish reading the book that I got for Liz.
What happened at Dungrungalong after we left?
What do you want to know?
Because there is a ancient and powerful artifact of Nang Nang, which we've come to the conclusion that would help solve the egg hatching problem. That is actually a continent-wide and worldwide problem, and it would be really helpful if we were to be able to get that cube. You wouldn't happen to know what happened to it, would you?
One second. Are you on the line? No, I'm not online.
Oh, we don't get to see the dad ridiculously flicking on and off the lights.
Rip.
Hi, Dad.
But when I'm DM, I'm going to instruct Hannah to come in and turn the lights on and off.
Between the time
Dramatically.
between 10:30 and midnight.
Yep, it's
Like-
gotta happen.
Yeah, it has to happen. Like we all just have to like hire someone to just like come in and like. Ow.
Thanks, Steve. See you again.
I can't give that power to my parents. They would do it all the damn time.
Your dad would just jump in
Just
on the
once
camera.
a night on Fridays. Could you just come in and do like real fast with the lights?
Kirk will take a moment to compose himself and will set the spear upright. The new king took over. I was removed from my position as champion. We killed Plugak,
Good to hear.
came over, and we gave them the cube in return for telling us how to get here. And now we are in service to a more fitting, beautiful adversary. And I await Majanari to return my courting applications and my letters.
Okay, so that was dumb, but good time.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad you found a higher calling.
Thank you. I enjoy standing right in front of doors and protecting the things inside of them.
Well, at least you found your niche.
Yeah,
Javonith will-
everyone does have their niche.
Javonith will mutter, "Simple pleasures for simple minds."
Be nice. Some people just like zoning out like that. But well, we're just here to see her and have a conversation. See if we can't find some information that might be useful for us. But what you said matches up with what we know. So yeah.
Rourke will walk back to the stairs and assume a guard position.
I will say it. He's very good at that.
It's very good at that. So, do we want to check out the dome up here then, since that's where?
No, he
Zahakori
didn't.
is?
He said it. She wasn't in the dome. She was in the other building.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
This one right here, I believe.
Yeah, that's what I understood.
I don't see why
So-
not. That's what we're here for.
Then onward, I would say.
So
Kojak, where are you?
he's
Where are you?
yeah.
As we pass Rourke's line of sight, Duvanith will like with a flourish pop the button on her dagger sheath on that side, so it makes a really loud snapping noise, and then just walk on. And then
He's 3 feet tall.
and then right as she gets to the door, she'll just make sure that it's sealed so it doesn't look like an assassination attempt or whatever.
Badass shit.
Approaching the door, you can see that it's light. It's made out of not a wood, but a stone that has been cut so thin that it should move like wood. And on it, beautifully preserved, is a glass mosaic of a young, handsome Chilton warrior facing down against a fearsome representation of some type of like demonic lord, like holding up a makahiro, ready to face the depths of hell, and it's totally cool.
Phil's loving looking at this. I know I'm at the one at the door, but I am not the most diplomatic among us. Who wanted to lead the conversation?
Well,
Well, I think Cole probably has the most in common with this person.
What? Because
Wait, was
he's
the
also a
mention of
snake
me
person?
having my entire situation going on? I am unsure whether or not that was a positive connotation or if it's going to end badly.
I thought that was more of a negative thing.
My understanding is that this woman has snakes for hair.
Not all snake people are
You
the
think all
same.
snake people like each
oh
other?
my god.
Just because someone has scales doesn't mean others. It's like comparing lizard folk to dragonborn. They're not the same thing.
What's a lizard folk?
Ugh, never winter. Never winterins.
Aren't I the one telling her the prophecy?
Oh yes, you are.
Okay.
Or
Perhaps someone should make pleasantries on your account, Jet, and then read you in, so to speak.
Okay.
I still don't know if I should do it.
I can give it a shot if no one else wants to, but I figured there might be some people more persuasive than I. But
Do you
I-
think you have the capacity to mess up introductions?
looks at Cole. Very like
Fair enough.
straight-faced.
Fair enough.
Giovanni will tap Cole on the shoulder and say, "If I'll back you up. I was a professional introduction maker for a time."
Okay. Okay. All right. Inwards. And let's step inside.
I think we still need a
Cool.
knock.
Cole does knock.
You knock, and you can hear the sound echoing inside of the chamber, and you hear a pleasant, unbearably soft voice go, "Yes, come in, come in."
Cole, before he opens the door, motions for Jet to like get behind him.
Oh, okay.
And then he opens the door
and basically steps in the doorway and clears his throat. Good afternoon. Can't remember her name.
Is it
Man,
on her token?
it's on her.
Miss Zalcor. Or
Zalcor.
Or Zalcor, ma'am.
Zalcore with an E.
Oh, with an
Good.
accent mark.
Yeah.
Zalcore. Good afternoon, Miss Zalcore. It is a pleasure to. It is an honor to be in your presence.
The singular chamber inside the dome is a royal apartment. Its beauty is faded, but it's still there. There's bright floral murals all across the wall that are dim and gray, with bits of colored glass sort of piled under them, having been swept. There's stone tables that were once enameled with silver or gold but have been chipped away or smoothed away with just constant touch. And the cloth hanging all around for decoration is frayed and sun bleached. All around the room, there are grung, most of them wearing luxurious silks themselves and obviously enjoying the comfort that comes with being the handmaiden to a very powerful woman. And despite the heat, it's surprisingly cool. At the center of the room, facing you on a long divan, are a couch atop a circular dais that's risen up out of the floor, is a woman. And around the circular dais is a portion of the floor has been turned to glass, and you can see water rushing under it. And it's clear enough that you can see just how deep it goes and all of the fish that are moving around. The woman is dressed in a flowing robe made out of stunning, vibrant feathers. Her arms and hands are exposed, and you can see the shimmer of golden scales along her elbows and across the back of her hands. She has long, sharp nails and decorated with elaborate jewelry pieces. Her head is obscured with a thick black veil that sort of hangs tauntingly on the floor. And as Koshak enters and makes himself known, the woman will sit up, clearly recognizing you all, and she'll stand, the feathers slipping into place. And with that, there's already this like magnetism about her. Every move she makes is calculated and graceful. It's like nobody has ever stood up before. She'll lift a hand and grab the thick veil, and in one fluid motion, she'll sort of just grab it off of her face. And she's plain. She's got possibly dark eyes, smooth skin, high cheekbones, and a wide face. And around her head, curling, are iridescent scaled serpents. There's this ethereal command about her, and it's hard to look at anything but her as she speaks and addresses the group. Koshak, it's such a delight. I've heard so much about all of you. Please step forward. I would love to see your faces.
Cole takes a palm step forward and off to the side and motions for the others to come in.
A little bit of a polite bow. Miss Zalcore?
Solidargo. Jet and Duvaneth?
Jet will just bow his head.
Devaneth will
It's a pleasure.
nod and say, "Ma'am," and just plant herself next to the door.
No.
It's a pleasure for all of you to finally come and see me. Has something happened at Kirsabal?
When
Soul gives a nudge to
What-
Kawashak.
There was a
bunch of weather, and was it a battle with the Terrafolk or with the gargoyles?
Gargoyles.
Okay.
there was a bout of bad weather and an attack from the gargoyles that happened. It's left pieces of Girsabal in ruin, but they're working very hard on rebuilding.
It's dreadful.
Mashunare and is safe, as well as Na.
It's very good to hear. And from behind, you'll feel the cool and hot presence of Artis and Dragonbait as they enter. And as they do, Valkyrie will lift her hands up to Artis. She's a very short woman, barely maybe coming up to Devana's shoulders. And she'll move past the group towards Artis, and Artis will lean down, letting his head be cupped by her hands. And you'll hear the two go back and forth, speaking in the familiar language that you've all heard Eku and Artis speak before. And just from the tone, it seems that she's offering her condolences. And she'll even squeeze his cheek a little bit before patting it, then pulling away to look at the group as a whole. I assume you didn't make it all the way over here to Nongalore to make pleasantries.
It's
Well,
hiding
it-
behind Soul right now.
Well, it would be rude to not make pleasantries before business.
You don't need to tell me that.
But it was not our only intention.
But speak quickly and speak briefly. I value my time immensely. To
Our-
be clear, the only reason I'm entertaining you right now is because you come very highly spoken of. She'll sit back
Our-
and sit on her divan.
Our resident cleric Jet has had a prophecy and he has a question to ask you about. Or series of questions to ask you about.
Why do you think I'd be capable of asking them? She isn't asking to be snooty. She's definitely testing you.
It involves Mistra and Upteo. Jointly, not in proximity.
Something I forgot to mention. Her forehead is the familiar scar of a upside down triangle.
Oh.
We can see her forehead.
That is a very important detail that I did not mention. I'm deeply apologetic.
What kind of veil is it? Is it like we can't see her face through it, or like we can see like her through it?
No,
tossed
she
it
moved
back.
her veil now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I missed that.
Interesting. Have the rest of you experienced anything similar to that?
Cannot say that I have.
I don't dream.
I wouldn't call it similar.
It sounds so edgy, but it's true.
Not similar, I'd say, to Jets, but I have experienced dreams sent by Obteo, I believe.
Walking in mazes, being led by loved ones?
Yes, for the most part.
Oh, that's good. I will admit some part of me is happy. It's been a while since I've been able to lead anyone in the spiritual sense. she'll stand up again, and she'll snap her hand at one of the grung, and three of the grung will mobilize, pulling a chair out from the ether and sort of setting it in front of her. One of them will dash off, grabbing a kit again from the ether and bring it back, and she'll gesture artists with a lot more casualness than she's had dealing with the rest of you. Artist will start peeling his shirt off. Um, and as Zachary is starting to go through the kit, pulling out tattoo needles and bottles of ink, she'll sort of wave at Jet with a hand. Bossy boy, step forward. Let me examine your face.
Hey boy.
Jed does curse to himself as he slowly goes up in front of the group.
Come closer. I don't like walking towards men.
That's valid.
Is where she is on the map, like where she's supposed to be?
Yeah.
I was because I put myself like within like right next, like 1 block away. That's why I was.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm not looking at the map to make sure my computer can run.
No,
Fish
okay.
wanted to drop that line, is what it comes down
Yeah,
to.
basically. Yeah, he stands next to her and Artis, and obviously a comfortable distance to not be rude. It's still close.
She'll lean forward and she'll grab your face in her between her fingers and sort of twist your head this way or that, looking over the concave of your cheeks and your messy hair. And she'll give a you would have benefited from what are the words they use today? It's composure, elegance, etiquette. You would have benefited from etiquette classes. Stand back.
Jet will take a step back.
I'm pleased to be in your presence, though. Missionary had the most to say about you. I heard that you called her bitch and a variety of other insults and have been generally antagonistic towards her.
Jet's gonna look straight down and just not answer. Sorry.
Don't apologize.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
I don't like people who apologize, so stop apologizing.
Okay.
You're so cute. Tell me what your prophecy was, dear. And as she says that, Artis, having fully taken off his shirt, will sort of sit backwards in the chair and rest his hands on the top. And you can see that he has several faded tattoos already. And Zachary will pull out a cloth of some sort and start wiping a blank area on his back, preparing him to get another one. And she'll snap her hands at Jeff for emphasis.
Jet will quickly grab out his book and he'll flip to the page of that he wrote everything. I kind of remembered what they said. Um, um, this is what they said, I guess. There are things that I do that will only harvest rot in the orchard, and we or I cannot guide your hand in such creation. And then they also said, the rivers of thread run unfrayed and unhindered across the sweeps of Oteo. The people tread on it, tread through it on sore feet. It is tangling, cut, and it is rotting. You will find help in its respiration and perhaps after. And then I think this might not be a prophecy, But I was told when I see their daughter, tell her she is missed. But I don't know.
Interesting. Well, Upteu is a primordial, and in the Dawn of War, or something else to that effect, I can't remember the name, he betrayed his sister, Dendar the Night Serpent, in return for a swath of land he could call his own. Gods all swore never to touch the land, and so that's why there aren't many clerics, and why Mistra may be unable to do what you need her to do on this. If a god does touch down in Chult, that breaks the deal that Ute will help when inevitably another disaster strikes. As for the rivers of thread and the bridges, she'll think.
Please be a
And
high
as
roll.
she's thinking, she'll start gently stabbing Artis's back with the needle, ink already starting to like well down and gather around his skin and drip down her elbow onto the floor. Sounds familiar. Do you remember my granddaughter, Napaka, talking about something that her champion did for her? Something to do with making movement across Chult much easier for her. My champion, Therote, my husband at times, built this garden for me.
Quite impressive.
Thank you. In war, he was a general, but mostly he was an architect. I valued him for his contributions. He built so many great buildings and vast array of this, and well, he made this place so I could always have somewhere to run away to when Omu became too stressful.
Been highly cared for.
OOC, is she the one from the Jug story?
Who?
It is Zelkore the person and her champion slash husband, the one from the Jug story?
Yeah, in the beginning we saw someone that was in a room and he had like a bunch of blueprints, architectural blueprints.
No, not that. The story of the marathon runner who was not royal but still was in love with the
Yeah.
the prince.
That's what I'm talking about.
That one?
Found the jug and brought it back to Omu, or
Yeah.
brought it to where
Brought
we
it
found
to the Temple of Man and Crocodile. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you that. And
I know I know I'm note digging, but I wanted to toss it to the group in case anybody had anything that I
Yeah, it sounds familiar, and I'm thinking that might be right, but I don't know where my notebook is at the moment, which is highly frustrating. Find it, and while I do that, I'm also going to fill up. Well, but I can still hear you guys, so feel free to discuss.
So is the rivers of thread um this thing that your grandmother champion made?
Granddaughter.
Granddaughter,
Most
sorry.
likely. If you're, I mean, it would be a place of great magic. And the only thing of great magic in Chult that I can think of would be that.
And would this be the same place for that creation that Mistra cannot put her hand on?
No. I think Mistra was referring to the deal that she and the other gods made, ever to create our make on Uteu's land.
Okay, that makes sense now.
Thinking of, like, the way that she's talking about the gateways, that she might be referring to the portals that we've been traveling through, or plan to travel through later on today. The one that Gosha, Majunare, traveled through probably a little bit ago.
Is that the same ones? Or is it...
I'm sorry, Jet, I can't tell you.
I mean,
I'm not exactly the best at remembering things, and it was during my exile that happened. It's my best guess.
Okay. I appreciate it.
I mean, we don't know
Of
any other.
course.
I'm sorry. I mean, we don't really know any other portal networks here in Chult. I mean, there famously isn't any aside from this one.
Well, at least I have an unriddled answer to my question, but I guess I just have to find her daughter and deliver the message, and that's it. My last part.
Does Mister still have daughters? Are those 7 little girls still around? And she'll look at Duvaneth as she's asking that.
What?
Oh, it's fucked.
What do you mean, what?
Why would I know of 7 little
You're
girls?
well read. I mean, they were little girls when I was around. I'm sure they're grown up now.
How well read am I on this? I asked the DM, like, am I supposed to not know anything? Because I don't. So
Are you proficient in Arcana or History?
I am.
I think you know I'm not.
Why are you teasing me?
Giovanna will just sort of like narrow her eyes and say, why would I know these people?
Interesting. Interesting. She'll look at Jet. Mestra and her, her daughters.
It is known that like the Sword Coast, she doesn't have any children, right? It was we.
No, she does.
Okay.
She has a.
Oh no, it was figured out that it may have been Apteo that assisted in that. I know we figured out. Yeah. Okay. No, I do know. I don't think I know if they're still around. I guess.
That's probably your best bet.
Okay. I appreciate your time.
Of course. And it would be impolite to leave just yet. So sit down, Make yourselves comfortable on the floor. Do any of you want refreshments? I haven't been able to host guests in a while.
Love some Miss Zakore.
Of course.
Jet will nod yes, please, and then go find a wall to lean against.
There are several
Yes,
walls
please,
to
that
lean
would.
against.
Your spell discovers a stick.
Um, she'll think for a moment. I have to make sure I don't accidentally poison any of you. It's been a while since I've had guests that I didn't try to kill.
Oh, okay.
I had a rowdy bunch of these handsome, very handsome men. These handsome little flaming fist people come by. And, it was the usual, where's the Princess of Omu? I know you know where she is. And I'm all like, oh my god, I'm a frail old woman. Please, look into my eyes. It was a whole business. And it just keeps happening. Anyway, these four want drinks. We don't have any finger foods, at least none that you can eat. Maybe Coach, do you want marrow? Do you need
Yes,
marrow?
actually, that sounds delightful. Please.
Okay. She'll wave her hand and several of the grung will disperse, breaking their necks with how fast they're moving out of the room to serve her. So where are you all from?
From I'm from outside of Baldur's Gate, but
Ooh.
I live in Port Nyanzaru now, or was going to before. We got called in to help out.
Oh, interesting.
Winter.
Oh, very nice.
Neverwinter as
Jet?
well. Neverwinter as well.
Oh, two from Neverwinter. How delightful. Koshak?
I'm certain you can make a good assumption about where I hail from, but Omu.
Oh, ooh. How is Omu?
Last I left it, still in ruins. Still in ruins, still, we're living there, certainly.
Well, that's good to know that there's still people living there.
The King of Feathers isn't there anymore.
Yes,
Oh.
yes, I am unsure whether or not you've heard, but the King of Feathers has escaped.
Oh, that's good. I asked her to leave.
You know her that well?
The Omuan monarchy has always prided the Omuan monarchy has always had an interest in animal husbandry. And, well, it was a joke I made. There's never been an Omuan king. There's only ever Omuan queens. We, as a rule, never marry. And so I made the King of Feathers, because why be a queen if you don't have a king? And then she goes around and she protects Omu.
to hear. I imagine, at least.
Very.
Um,
I hope she doesn't give you any trouble.
No, she just seems to be carnage. We've found and saw multiple other dinosaur corpses on our way up here.
It's very good. Maintaining the ecosystem. And without the abundance of Chilton or Shaun hunters around, these dinosaurs are really getting uppity and, well, now they aren't.
Miss Zachary, would you happen to know anything about hags within Chult? Specifically, the feeling that comes from them watching you?
Yes, unfortunately. Hag is what took Mbala.
Mbala? Oh wait, we knew about that. That's
Mhm.
the place by
Camp
Fort.
Vengeance.
Yeah, Camp Vengeance.
Your friend Eku, she isn't here, unfortunately, for very good reasons. We hate each other very deeply. Was fated to protect Mbala, so
It's interesting.
But as for hags, I can't say so. I know that I've been experiencing a stronger presence of them. I've noticed little spies of theirs working about, ants in my food and crawling around my bed at night.
Why do you think that is?
To which part?
Why do you think you felt a stronger presence?
She'll think, gathering her thoughts. Well, Chult is weak. Its people are fractured and scattered, and this is the weakest we've ever been. Forces are obviously at hand to occupy that weakness in our front. And hags have always had a deep interest in Chult, its wild magic, and how, I don't want to say it's corruptible, but we don't have the defenses that most places do against them.
We
Nice. Allows for evil as much as it does for good. But I'm sorry, I cut you off, Devana.
Oh, no. I was just thinking, I mean, if that's the case, you have less defenses against them. Do you think that hags may be behind this curse that's afflicting Chult and the world?
Yeah, dice roll.
She'll pause, grazing Artis's skin with the needle, and she'll kind of pop her mouth and she'll look at Duvana. I'm not saying this as the Queen of Omu. I'm not saying this as a Bri, an ex-Bri of Mesril, or, someone who was shaped out of the clay of Chult. Yes, I fully believe that. Nothing of Chult could make this curse. I don't think we could ever possess that level of hate.
We're fairly confident that it is coming from inside Chult. Any help that you can give us would be more than welcome.
What kind of help do you need?
About anything that could be referred to as a soulmonger? It's a made-up term, but something
I'm
that
sorry.
collects the souls.
I don't know. I know about Chult. I've lived here for more than 500 years. But if it's anything new, if it's anything alien, then I'm sorry.
That's actually good to know. It's well, I mean, if she doesn't know about it, like it's not of Chult. It's something from outside of Chult, right?
Mm-hmm.
So someone imported this as opposed to have made it
Have it,
homegrown.
yeah, grown here.
Good to know. But at least that's what I'm putting together. Oh, no, Jason. Jason.
Jason, did you just have a
Sorry,
realization?
Devonna,
Yeah.
what did you just
Yes.
what did you realize?
So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do this for a second. So, the jug and the memories we've been seeing from the jug.
Mhm.
I believe we've confirmed that it was Queen Napaka who shook Skeleton Guy's hand, which means that this lady was alive when that happened, if I recall correctly.
Fish is still smiling. Keep going.
No. That's my whole bit, because basically
No,
that means that there is a line of questioning from the stuff that we've been seeing in the jug that we can open on this lady.
Mm.
true.
I'm pretty
What?
sure.
Wait, hold it. What if these are just like her memory? Well, it doesn't explain how she knows about us.
Yeah, no, because they're
Yeah.
but like,
Never mind.
anyways, the point I'm trying to get at is that I'm pretty sure that anything we've seen in the jug we can ask about, for the most part.
That is
Try.
a
I'll
very
be right
good
back.
Okay, love it. That
Okay.
is a very, very good line of thought. And I was actually going to bring up the jug with her in a second too, because I was so curious about whether or not she was the person that got the jug. But
Well, see, I don't want her to take it from us. That's why. but yeah, no. So, anyways, Dubanith just all of a sudden.
is everything all right, Duvanith?
Yep. Nope. Fine.
Are you sure?
Well,
Okay, man, for homies, where do we want to begin?
well, Zilkari, ma'am, you said that you've lived for 500 years, and we've been privy to visual representations of Chult's history for a time now as we've traveled through the jungle. And
Through the jug.
yes, from the Temple of Man and Crocodile.
Shrine. It's not a temple.
Sorry, yes. Get my terms mixed up. Um, but we've seen some of Chult's history and some of Umu's history, and you mentioned that Queen Pakta, pardon my pronunciation, um, was your great granddaughter, and I believe that we saw her engaging in some sort of deal or engagement with a individual who, at first, we called Blueprint Man, a person who seemed to be making some sort of design or grand design for some sort of structure, who eventually became a horrific skeletal visage, and the two came to terms about something, and we're not sure what that is.
Do you know what this Blueprint Man looked like?
His original get up before he turned into a horrific
Excuse me.
monster.
I think the
Yes,
Blueprint Man and the horrific monster were two different people, unless I'm mistaken.
I
Because
thought we
they're
were running on a theory that they were the same.
maybe because I remember because Blueprint Man got stabbed by Big Horn Guy, right? Or was there a
Somebody.
different monster on top of that Big Horned Guy? But I thought Big Horn Guy was the one that she made a deal with.
Oh, I mean, it was definitely Skeletal Bighorn Guy, but I thought that they were one and the same, but they may be different.
Maybe I'm misremembering.
So Blueprint
No,
Man was
I have
stabbed by the pale skin man, confirmed. They made
Blueprint,
idle conversation, and then he got stabbed.
Blueprint Man, Zombie Man, same man. See the slash?
Yeah, I think. Okay, but is Zombie Man the same thing as Big Horn Guy?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
He is?
Let me backtrack.
Yeah, because I thought they were two separate entities.
Because the robe dude,
No,
the pale skin man in the robe stabbed him.
I have zombie offers man something. So this zombie is a sentient man. Yep. I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if I wrote down the description of Blueprint Man.
Also, I'm
TBH.
using the biography.
I know
section
Blueprint Man. He
to
looked
take notes.
he looked like Shago, but that was because from the back he had dark skin, somewhat curly hair, as far as I remember.
Mm-hmm.
And he was muscular. He wore an apron.
It says here that
As he
he
looked
had a
over
firm
with the-
handshake.
Yes.
But yeah, I remember like what you're talking about. But I think it was like Blueprint Man and Big Horn Guy were talking, and then like he made something like some sort of offer to Blueprint Man, and Blueprint Man was like, "Oh," and then he got stabbed.
Okay, not quite Chilton. Black hair, white vestments, tying on bracers, and triangle earrings. I think that's Rosny. But there was a zombie watching. The zombie was in a what was surrounded with blue smoke and was wearing robes and looked Omuan. Per my notes.
But we can say that he was a Chultan man, probably wore white vestments, has a connection to a man with large horns.
Blueprint Man was on a balcony. He watched a city burn.
No, yeah, that's what I was. That's the one where he gets stabbed.
That's the one where he gets stabbed.
Yep. I'm seeing it.
Then hold on, there was like two separate ones where we were like, at the time, we were like, maybe Rosny was also at the time destroying Mesro? Question mark.
Yeah, it might have been running concurrently. And I have tall, pale man dash horns tiefling robe not Chulton. So I think yes, I think that the Blueprint Man died via the zombie tall skeletal man at the time where Rosny was burning right?
Rodney was the one that burned Omu. That was the Ashawans, and that's why he attacked Mesro.
Yeah, that's why he attacked Mesro.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
But the main thing is we kind of know what Blueprint Man looks like now that we all with our various amount of notes.
Also, have we used our jug for the day? Because maybe we can try to.
We
cheese
haven't
it
used a jug in a fat minute.
Yeah.
Because if we could try to,
We
we
haven't
could
used
see
it
if we
today.
can get a Blueprint Man memory, if we're lucky. Because we gotta roll that anyways.
Yeah, and worst comes to worst, we end up gossiping with this woman about one of our lives. It's all the best.
It's all
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's options. Maybe she has more control of it because I kind of get the feeling she might be the daughter of Mistra.
I thought that she might be the person that the jug was ferried
Yeah,
back.
but yeah, I think that too. But I also think that because she isn't like a member of the Omuan royal family, right? We don't know where she came from. She was just like a member of Omu, and then she ran all that. So we don't know who her parents are. All we know is that she was not a part of the royal family.
But she
But
got
she
She
got
was
into it.
exiled.
Yeah,
But yeah, I suppose we don't know if.
Okay.
yeah.
Anyways, Blueprint Man. Well,
Or Trizamarian.
Blueprint Man died on a balcony as a city burned. Tall, pale man stabbed him. He had a firm handshake. He kind of.
You're muted, by the way. Fish. It was the person that, well, maybe the person who killed him, which might be a little bit more memorable, had large horns that curved backwards, and we've seen several memories of him doing some pretty awful things to people of Chultan origin. And
What did Blueprint Man look like?
He was a Cholton man, dark skin, black hair. He wore an apron, and in one vision, we saw him putting on bracers while he looked over the blueprints. Blueprints. Accent machine broke.
Well, see, I
Sounds
think that.
like he sounds like one of the slaves Therote took as an architectural apprentice. Something. He was from one of the Cholton tribes. We took him during one of our conquests. I remember him. He stuck out. His name started with a G. It's a Cholton word for earth. Gora. Gora.
Do you know of him?
No, I didn't care much for architecture. I only cared about what happened afterwards. I also didn't interact with slaves very often.
What happened afterwards?
After what?
Well, you said something that Gora. You didn't really care about the architecture. You only cared about what happened afterwards. What was the afterwards?
The building of it. The results of the building.
He helped design this place? To your knowledge?
Yes, as one of the architects in Theotime's deploy, yes, he might have been responsible for some other buildings. Yes, Jason.
Does the blueprints from the memories look like the blueprint of where we're standing, or is it a separate structure?
Given that this memory happened several months ago and the memory showing the blueprints was already small, you have no idea.
That's one of the ones we did on the spoon before we figured out the beef trick.
Duvaneth will say, did he work on many projects here, or just this structure?
I couldn't tell you. Sorry. I mean, Theratai, when he wasn't at war, was always building something, and uh, from what I remember, Gora had always been very insightful.
You know anything of this Horns man he might have been associated with?
I'm sorry, I don't. I When Amu fell, I was here. I felt it, and I was able to talk with some survivors of it, especially Heatsy, but I wasn't there.
What did they have to say about the fall?
Um, it was brutal. I know that Razan was born during a solar eclipse, and they were in preparations to lie about her birth, but uh, you might be referring to the Destroyer.
The Destroyer. That
Inamu,
thought.
the royal line is divine. That isn't just a propaganda lie. We are made out of the same clay of Chult. We are divine. We embody the standards that we set. And during my reign, I stepped away from what Uteu had envisioned for us, and he abandoned us. Before he left, he informed me that in my lifetime and in the lifetime of those that I love most, a strange, pale man would come from nowhere and consume Omu with a black sun.
So the parcel being carried was Razan.
Yes.
And she ran to Kirsabal and or wherever, and well, heck,
And if Omu was consumed, um, she'll motion at Cole. How can people still be from there? What happened?
I don't think consumed in the literal sense. But I mean, Omu is its people. It isn't the things that they create. It's the people who speak the language, the people who call themselves Omuan.
yeah, Devon, haven't you seen Thor Ragnarok?
God damn it.
It is not as livable as it probably once was. The upkeep of it is just that, it's upkeep. But it does not look like it did, or as I'm certain it did in its prime.
It does not grow; it only survives.
Precisely.
I wish you could have seen Omu. It was fantastic.
Sure.
If the maps in uh, the workshop are anything to go by, it was very impressive.
Missionary tells me to be thankful for the Wantu, for preserving, at the very least, the architecture and the buildings of Omu.
Oh, then you might get a slight joy out of this. I have yet to tell Koshkal, but there was a woman who wore one of the yellow shawls around. She's dead now. She was killed violently.
You're familiar with him.
That's one word for it, certainly.
Don't.
Bone!
Familiar with each other during my earlier years. I thought he was dead.
From what I know, he's sitting there.
Oh. 4,000 years too late, I suppose. Poor thing. Is that little tinny bopper of his still around? She came to visit me a few times before heading towards Port Nyanzaro. Not one of his consorts, I can't remember her name to save my life.
Oh, yes. She's still around as far as I know.
That's good. She's snappy. I liked her. Um, but yeah, that's it. Solar eclipse and foretold the doom and the destroyer and so on and so forth. It was my granddaughter, not my great granddaughter, Queen Napaka.
Oh, sorry, my mistake.
No problem.
No. I know you've already discussed a little bit, and I don't want to take up too much more of your time if you're tired. But do you know anything of the dreams that I've been having? You seemed familiar with them.
Fortunately, I can't give you much insight. The maze of life that everyone walks on is unique to themselves. It's your duty to examine them and figure out what they mean to you.
Yeah, that sounds about as accurate as what I've been hearing from other people.
Teo has never been fond of outwardly helping. He's very much help those who help themselves. If you are having those dreams, I'd walk the grotto in the Temple of Mesro.
Well, unfortunately, we're heading in a bit of the opposite direction. Do you know anything about Shilku and Shilku Bay?
Oh, yeah, we wiped it clean of, I can't remember what tribe was sitting there when we conquered it. Um, I mean, it's a cute little outing. Thero made me a little spa, a little mud bath there. That's all I know. I only visited it for the mud bath and the prostitutes, but don't tell Thera I said that.
Fair enough. I think it was in ruins the last time I was there. So,
Oh, lava swept through it and killed everybody. I'm familiar.
yeah, it wasn't fun walking through there. Uh, do you know anything about Rockhammer? Or, more importantly, do you know anything about these cubes? Devon, do you have it? Can I see the one that you have? Thank you. He presents a cube, very careful not to touch her.
When Uteo left, we argued about people, and we turned to other gods. Spirits presented themselves, capable of protecting us. There's the magic that we had grown dependent on. Now, this is Papazato. And He and I are quite familiar with each other. The patron of the royal family. He's the one who overlooked the court. He's the hand that poisons the queen. He's the hand that stops the poison, the machinations of court. He's the introduction and the end of royal visits. As for their meaning, I couldn't tell you. I'm only familiar with the cubes that might
We
have
were
like.
Yeah. We were told by Saja Nambaza that the only way for us to survive ending the death curse is to have those 9 cubes.
I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with it. Amuan's Quarry is fond of puzzles and impossible tasks, but we never do something such as needing certain items to get out. We're much more concerned with getting in.
I see. So perhaps these cubes aren't, or their purpose isn't of Chult make then.
Most
Interesting.
likely. Also, they just look very tacky.
Yeah, I mean, it's very like classic dungeons and stuff to have cubes and what have you. You're muted.
As she says, it's just kind of tacky. Duvanith will take her little like Papazotl charm and like tuck it in her pocket.
Papa who?
Papa who? But still also passes it back to Duvanith. I love the pantomime. But well, that's good to know.
I found the note block I was.
Oh boy. Uh,
So, if you're having these dreams sent by Ubteo, I'm sure you've heard this before from someone else, but as someone who's talked and had a longer relationship with Ubteo than even Art is here, and as she says that, she'll like enunciate it with a needle stabbing her.
yeah, I keep on forgetting she's like doing tattoos while she's talking.
Something I want you to bear in mind is Ubteo isn't fickle, but he has a balance he has to keep. He isn't a god. He isn't beholden to needing faith to keep going. If he's considering you, and there's a trial ahead of you, and I'm sure for someone who's done the things that you've done, I lost my train of thought.
That's usually when
I'm
people
sure the
start doing.
question. I'm sure the question that Ute was going to ask you is one that you've already asked yourself. I hope when the time comes and when he asks that question that you're prepared to handle the answer.
Well, I mean, haven't talked to him yet. And I
I'm
haven't had a
sure you
dream in a
have.
while. Not in the way that Jet has.
Teo isn't like a god. He doesn't have a form. He is. She'll reach out and touch the wall right here. Is the ground beneath us, the sky above us, the dinosaur.
And in the land of Chult itself.
Yes. If you've talked to the tree, then you've talked to Ubteo. And if you've heard the wind, then Ubteo has talked to you.
Sol looks over at Dubonnet, who has had a conversation with a tree. Sorry. I'll try to take more notice then. That was kinda it for me, fam.
Well, a lot of what you're saying mirrors and supports what we heard from Shazin and Baza, um, even so far as down to the ants being reflective of the corruption in Omu. Um, and she seemed to think, she told us that the curse was coming from Omu and that we needed these tacky cubes to live. She also thought that the death of Rosni would be required for the ending of the curse. Do you think that
Hardly.
well, how would you suggest that we approach Rosni and our requirement to get to Omu and access him?
Sergeant Abaza was a fortune teller in Mesro. She was given extreme trust in maintaining and answering. She'll take a moment gathering herself. In Chult, and specifically Mesro and Domu, the star charts were important. The ability to guess and interpret the situations, the circumstances surrounding a birth and a life was instrumental. Sergeant Abaza was outed by Rosnasi for manipulating prophecies and fortune telling to get her own gain. Remove people who were questioning her or further her own power in the eyes of the beret. She's always wanted to kill Rosnasi.
Fair, but she's also been correct about your great 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 granddaughter being afflicted by similar sensations of being watched as Sol and I, without us bringing it to her, and it was. I think she was correct, and Majwanari has never spoken to Shazin. Likewise, she's predicted that where Sol's husband is on the other side of the continent is a place we'll get one of these tacky cubes. While we don't know for sure, so far she's been right about at least one of them.
I mean,
She,
a good
she
lie
even,
tells the truth.
Yeah. I don't believe she's denying the fact that Sergeant Abaza is clairvoyant. I think she just can also add to her fortunes.
and what I'm saying is, at what point do we know whether it's true or not? What should we look out for? What signs should we be looking for if believe Rasnasi is behind this, or could assist us even, perhaps? Because after we're done in Shilku, our intention is to return to Mesro and use his statue in the Hall of Champions to appear right before him.
Razowski is devoted to Chult first and Ubteo second. Lean into that. Lean into the love he has for the people, and I'm sure you won't run into many problems.
And not to be crass, but all the people, correct?
Of Chult?
Yes, the birds, the bees, the grung, the petrifolk, the everyone, not just his little corner.
He has preferences for Mesron, but I think so, if you ask. I can't speak for him. It's been a while since I last saw him, but if he still had the powers of the Bray, even after his exile from Mesro, then yes.
My only concern is apparently he's letting his paranoia get to him as of late.
Depending on how we frame our argument, that may work in our benefit.
Well, if he trusts you so much to let you go, Koshok, I'm sure his paranoia won't reach to you.
One can hope.
Do all of you know your way to Amu?
No idea where it is.
No, our intent was to appear before Razumsi and get him to show or tell us.
And also, he might have some cubes that we need.
That too.
Well, if you're walking towards Amu, something I would suggest is walking at night. There's a star that hangs above Amu that you can easily navigate by.
Laughs in Soul doesn't have dark vision.
And Jet, but Soul's Makahito casts some moonlight.
Ah, the light pollution. Stop that. Ah.
It's moonlight. It's soft light.
Um, uh, very well. Is there a constellation or um, some cluster of stars we could use to locate this star, or is it hang in a supernatural way?
Um, it is kept in its location in a supernatural way, but the constellation is called the Tula.
How do you spell that?
Tuwa.
What does that mean?
And I couldn't tell you. It's just what we've always called it.
Where's it located?
Ah.
No, what's
Right above.
I'm sorry, I mean the name. Did you write it down somewhere?
Wait a second.
Breath sneezy. Nearly deafened us.
This is what we like to call the long con.
Oh, hey! That name does sound familiar, doesn't it? Like... It's a fine button! Fine, I'll just scroll.
Right. I can't think of anything else I want to ask. This doesn't have to do with the vernal equinox, does it?
Vernal equinox passed 2 months ago.
Really?
Time has been very weird. I don't like it.
We're entering summer. The Majanari's birthday and the summer equinox is going to be coming in a week, a 10-day or two.
Good to know. Huh. I lost track of time. Oh, my birthday passed. Ugh.
Oh, a happy birthday.
Am I 24? Am I 23 or 24 now? Oh, I'm 23 now. Oh, that feels weird.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 20.
Boo.
That boo. I no longer feel 22.
Actually, just thinking about the lyrics of that song aged me up like 8 years.
God,
All right.
I'm 23 and it feels. Ah, I'm 23. Ah, God, I remember that. Enjoy it, you two. It sucks. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jason.
I feel like it's gonna be the same shit, different year.
Pretty much.
You no longer feel like a young adult. You just feel like adult.
All right.
So no difference.
Do we need to ask anything else?
I got nothing.
I cannot think of anything.
The vernal equinox was my crackpot moonshot. So that's it for me.
If you're familiar with celestial stuff, is there going to be another eclipse soon?
I'm not. You'd have to ask Majanari. The celestial thing has always been her business. I'm
Soul,
just parroting what she's told me.
Soul, have you been a werewolf this whole time and not told us?
That's a full moon.
What?
Full moons are the thing with the werewolves.
Wrong myth.
Whatever.
I was asking about solar eclipses. Thought
Yeah, werewolves, right?
No.
Whatever.
You're thinking evocation wizards.
Majanari told me that you were well read. Have you?
Damn. She just called you stupid.
Koshak, like, a wry smile crosses his face. He looks at Zalcor and he says, he's 15.
Wow.
I'm just. What kind of things do you read if it isn't geography, religion, magic, astronomy?
Harry Potter.
I mean, I can't say that I necessarily read any of those things, and I think the last time I read something, uh, hmm, yeah, I'm not really able to put my thumb on it. It's been a while.
There's pride in that, in being self-taught, learning from experience.
I have a very strong tendency to stick with what I'm good at, and I've never quite had the affinity for any of those things. I'm sure you've met elves in the past. She like waves
I
her
haven't.
hands like she's pretending to do magic. See, look at that. Nothing.
I don't know why that just gave me gigantic Nick Cage vibes.
interesting.
Yep. Well, we shouldn't hold Artis any longer.
Well, I mean, I don't think we're the ones holding him.
Develop will look over. No. Like, I mean, he's got to get Shago and Nah back to Port Nyanzar. We wouldn't want them.
What is Artist getting a tattoo of?
He is getting a tattoo of a flower. It's a red carnation type, and under it you can see Messica's name.
Aww. Can we see from there if there are other names or other tattoos, like with people's names on it?
You can. He has a myriad of tattoos over his body, and occasionally you can see the tattoos he has across his chest when he moves. Of note, on his back appears to just be a bunch of flowers. He has a very rough map of what appears to be a dungeon of some sorts. That looks like it was etched on in like a prison or something. You can see a variety of other names. All of them are in the Chulten script, but you recognize the Chulten word for beautiful flower. You recognize the word Sirac, Sirac, and Messica's name under Sirac. On his chest, of note on his left pectoral, is a vulture gripping a banner, and it has Chulten script, but the words are unfamiliar. You recognize it from Ifan's notebook, the script and the way the letters and stuff are structured, and he has like a literature quote taking up his rib cage on the right side, and a few more, that sort of business.
Where's his no regrets tattoo?
And that's a vulture gripping the banner.
No
And he,
regrets.
of course, has the tattoo of two names across his knuckles.
To still recognize the name that's being held up by the vulture.
Given that it's an old Chulten, it would take a little bit to get it.
But so is the one that translated the Ifan's notebook.
Yeah, and this is like new words.
But didn't say that Jet was able to recognize it from the notebook?
Yeah, like it's similar script and letter structuring and stuff.
I got you.
Oh, like
okay.
it's of the same writing
Okay.
system.
So it's not like
Yes.
something from Ifan's notebook. It is something that's just also written in Old Olmoin. Okay.
No,
Yes, thank
no,
you.
with the vulture,
Okay.
I definitely think it has to do with Rosny.
Yeah, probably. That. Yeah, that's very much. This is my ex. Shows you how committed I am to any given situation.
Oh, he does have a no regrets, not a no regrets tattoo, but on his left shoulder, he has a huge heart, and across it is a banner with the name Neria. And there's 3 more female Sword Coast names written under it.
Glorious. Oh, this boy.
It'll be some time, but Artis's tattoo is soon finished and bandaged carefully. Zachary will dip her hands in a bowl of water that one of the Grung deliver her,
Oh, right, the
and
groom here.
you'll soon be escorted on your way. Tea having never been delivered, but a huge dinosaur bone, most likely a femur cut in half, will be delivered from Koashok several hours late.
Service here is terrible.
No, it's what Kushkal warned us about. She's
Oh,
trying
Jacques,
to get us to
she's
stay.
trying to what?
Get
Oh,
us to stay.
yeah. Classic Chulton auntie.
Yep, yep.
Mm.
Jacques takes the bone and gives a polite nod. Thank you very much.
Of
I
course.
have a
Is
cat.
there anything else that you all needed while you were here?
Was there any?
No, that's all for me.
Are you good, Jason?
Sorry. Um. No, I think I'm good.
Wait, hold it. Here's her thing. When you pat her ears.
Her ears go.
Good girl. Love you.
No, we should really be getting back. We, though I don't think we'll be able to get a full day's travel. We should certainly distance ourselves from the portal if we're able to get through.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. Well, I hope you will come by again. Don't be a stranger. I've been pleasantly surprised. So the dog on Divaneth. Missionary told me that the two of you were exceptionally rude, and I've been nothing but delighted.
I wouldn't call myself overly rude, only when the occasion calls for it. And you have
No,
not given me a
she
reason to.
she said exceptionally.
I'm rude when it matters.
Exactly. We are rude when it matters.
That's what every rude person says, huh?
Oh, I can tell you for a fact, I am a nightmare.
I've been reassured. I'm so delighted. It's good to know that there's people testing my descendant.
She's a good girl.
She's 24.
It's a more turn of phrase. She's older than me?
So I think almost everyone in this party except for Jet is older than you.
Yeah.
And yet, Sol, you're still the oldest person here.
Yeah. I don't understand how you non-dragonborns age. It's so weird.
Very gracefully.
Yeah.
Like a fine wine.
Like, what do you do with all that time?
Try not to die before you really get there.
Question I ask myself every day.
I think Dovaneth
Ow,
definitely
that felt more angsty.
that was definitely angsty.
That was extremely angsty.
Alright, well, thank you for your time, Miss Sarkore. You have a good night.
I certainly will. Don't be a stranger if you ever stop by again. Perhaps we'll see each other again. I would love to have visitors. Don't be a stranger. Always come by. It was a delight having you here.
It was so nice seeing you all. Please come by and visit again.
You know, Majorine never visits me as much as she said she will. I know she's busy with Kirsabal, but it would be nice having more people here.
We'll let her know.
Oh.
Is there any reason you... never mind.
No, so go on. What was it?
No, I realized that it is my place to ask.
No, please, ask your guest.
As your guest, I will politely refuse.
Coy.
Shall we?
Yes.
Artis is buttoning his shirt and like grabbing his things as fast as he can, and he'll
Keeping as
with,
far away from Soul as possible.
with a lot more ease than should be afforded to someone like him, will like tiptoe out of the building. And as the group files out, Dragonborn will be the last to move, and he'll take Zalkari's hand and make a big show of kissing upwards until her elbow, and he'll smell
Dragonbait.
lemons.
I got this vibe,
And
but he was so amped with the lemons. Mm-hmm.
um, and he'll produce a rose that he obviously plucked from outside and like twirl it as he presents it to Zalkari, and she'll take a second to gather herself and then take the rose and give him like a suspicious look, then go, "Thank you."
Can't believe
She
that
didn't do
Dragonbait.
much
Dragonbait.
to-
Dragonbait puts the moves on Zelkori.
I can't believe that Dragonbait is.
Do you mind if we'll just lead in and what does he smell like?
Lemons,
Thought so.
tar, a little bread. He smells nice. Also cologne. He smells like cologne.
Do you mind if we'll just she'll leave.
I can't believe that Dragonbait is fucking Koshiko's great grandmother.
Cole leaps.
But also, does that? I'm suddenly realizing that I don't know how old Dragonbait is.
He's a race that doesn't need age.
True. I'm just imagining like not Jilf, but Grandpa Dragonbait. Just like an old man coming in for the ride.
Dragonbait's got kids in different area codes.
Mm-hmm. Oof.
Artis is waiting at the stairs for the group. The iced bird already waiting, tucked into a position to receive onboardings. Getting on is a little bit easier this time. A little bit more used to how wobbly the bird is. And when everyone's seated, Dragonbait will hustle up, doing a white person jog as he's holding Zalkari's thick veil. And as he's approaching, he'll like thrust it in the air, and Artis will go,
Hey. So celebrating this. Hey, good job. Pat him on the back as he comes up.
Dragonbait will clasp his arm and take a seat, and Artis will look at Dragonbait and go, "This is how you got kicked out of your homeworld." And
Wow.
Dragonbait just smells like lemons. So
Dubonnet will
fucking
mutter,
bad.
birds of a feather, these two.
I mean, they have to get along for a reason, right? Soul's clinging on to Koshak as much as Koshak is clinging on to him this time.
But we don't know what creatures pop out.
Well, like, while we're boarding the bird.
Do we get a bird again?
Yep.
Does the bird come back?
Yeah, it was circling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
Koshak is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
The
But
departure
yours
is a little bit
So bad.
easier than the departure from Kirsabal. This one is a running jump.
Oh, God.
As the iceberg darts across the tributary of River Orlong and takes off right before a waterfall, sustaining itself on the hot and cold water mixture. And There's a brief time where she free falls, just letting air catch under her wings, and you guys are sinking before gliding upwards. And the glide upwards is so steep that for a moment you're just flat against her body.
Oh, Koshak passes
Only
out.
staying.
I got him. I got him.
The flying back to Kirsabal is much less steady. There's a lot of turbulence, a lot of rogue winds that blast against the side, occasionally centering the bird teetering. There's some points where she'll suddenly drop, then gain. And it's a very, very long 40 minutes before you touch back down in Kirsabal. What's up?
Soul's crying.
Koshak is like the video of the dude that gets on the slingshot ride, where he like wakes up a couple minutes and then the bird goes through extreme turbulence and then he passes out again.
Soul's just like crying, holding on to Koshak. Okay. Stay calm.
Waiting at the Kirsabal landing ground is Shago and Na. They have their bags packed. Na is carrying the bag of holding that Marjanari had been carrying for quite a bit of time. The two of them have matching hairstyles, save for Shago's braids at the front, but they both have the same glossy curls, and Na has clearly dressed himself to emulate what Shago was wearing.
I needed his dad real bad.
Cole is a little bit shaky as he steps off the bird. But when he sees Na all dressed up, he walks over and he like opens his arms to as if asking Na if he wants to be picked up one last time.
Not take a moment, and he'll glance upwards at Shago, and Shago will, give the A-OK, and Na will dart forward, slamming into Cole.
Cole almost has his shins and knees just taken out because he's already unsteady, but he manages to pick up Na, and he just gives him like a really tight hug.
Na hugs back as tight as he can, and will bury his face in the side of your neck. His face clearly having just been washed, his nose is cold, and you'll hear him stutter out an "I love you."
Aww.
Cole gently pulls Na back from the hug and kisses like the top of his head and says, "I love you too. I love you too. You behave, all right? When I come visit you, I want to see murals on the walls."
He'll nod, accepting, and he'll say that Moshinari had already told him to draw on the walls.
Perfect. Same mind. Behave yourself.
He will. No, he won't. He's lying.
he gives like be safe on your journey. He gives Na one more kiss on the forehead and then just holds on to him until Shago will take him back.
Shago will take the time that Cole is interacting with Na to sort of saddle up to Duvanath, and he doesn't say much, but he does give her a hug. You are muted.
Oh, she'll give him a hug back and then look down at Na and then look back at Shago and say, "Good luck."
Thanks. I mean, being a father has to be easy, right? I mean,
Tell him,
everyone does it.
tell him stories about spiders. It'll work. It'll work great.
Tool's laughing at
Okay.
that. Everyone's be a father.
Wanted to thank you for kicking me in the right direction, Duvaneth. When we bring back Razan, I'm not letting her skip out anymore.
Well, let her do what she wants to do, but I hope we're able to bring her back regardless.
I think Razan's been doing what she's wanted to do her whole life, and given what that's meant for Na and Missionary, I mean, time she steps up to the plate too, right?
Sure. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. And
Yeah.
we'll get there.
Stay safe, Duvaneth.
We'll try.
We'll move over to Jet, and he will lightly punch Jet in the shoulder, then extend his arms for a hug.
Jet will almost look super sad when he gets the arm punch, thinking like Jet fucked up royally. And then when he sees the arms open, he literally like dives into him.
Jet is briefly suspended in air by Shago's hug before being deposited on the floor. And Shago will clasp his shoulder and give it kind of a jostle before saddling up onto Soul.
Very extended.
He walks into the hug.
He accepted his fate.
Big hug. Very nice
Oh,
and warm.
this is nice. I
I've
don't get
been-
hugged a lot like this.
I'm told that I give very nice hugs.
Nice. This is nice.
You're free to go.
Any last advice before I go? Before I'm left with 5 kids?
Let yourself make mistakes. It's going to happen. Just be open and honest with them. Tell them you made the mistake. Let them know that's okay.
Yeah, I can do that.
Good man. You'll. It's trial and error. Look up books. Books are helpful. Go to the library. Look up books on fathering, parenting.
Got it.
What to expect when
well-
you're expecting.
Exactly. That's so helpful.
Who'll pick up Na and walk onto the bird very unsteadily, clearly not comfortable with the whole venture. Na is beside himself, absolutely giddy. And Artis will finish buttoning up his vest, tucking in his shirt, and I'll be back in 8 days. Just send me a sending in 8 days, and I'll update you on where I am, and you update me on where you guys are.
Sounds good. We'll do our best. You know the general area we're headed to, anyways.
Yeah.
Well, look for the signs of trouble as it seems to follow us if you don't hear from us.
Will do. Signs of trouble is familiar to me. See you when I see you. He will climb onto the wing, helping Dragonbait climb on, and he'll pet the side of the bird's neck, and with a lot more grace and a lot more ease than when the bird had flown the others, the bird takes off.
Cole does the thing where you like wave until you can't see the person anymore.
All the same.
Mojinari has made it back safely. She had seen the two of them, the four of them, really depart from the safety of a great big distance. She's still wearing her adventuring gear, though she's in the process of sort of taking it off. She'll confirm she did some light walking around. Shokube is still covered in ash and preserved. There's been some sign of movement, but she couldn't tell you what kind or how old. And she made it back safely, but it was a little bit of a trouble, and she won't get into many more details than that.
Well, as long as it can get us there and back. I mean, that's all we need, right?
Yep. 2 one-way trips. That's it. That'll get us to where we need to go.
That is where we will end today's session. Next session will be the the traveling session from Shilku to Rockhammer.
Oh boy.
Thank you for joining us today during my lore dump.
It was good.
I
It
will.
was
I
a
will.
nice session.
I will shout out. We didn't have much actual chatting in the chat, but we did have a lot of viewers. So
Yeah, we did.
for those watching, thank you guys for tuning in. I really
Yeah, thank you so
appreciate it.
much.
And if you want to see what happens next, go ahead and toss us a follow. We would very much appreciate it. And also, I am a player who's active in the chat and am more than happy to chat with you as the game goes on. So, sorry, Fish, not to cut you off, but I wanted to note that because I thought it was notable. And I will now hand the stick back to you.
Like 2, 4, 6, 8 people in here right now.
Nope, that's it. Thank you guys for joining us here today, and I will see you next week.
Have a good night,
Yeah,
everyone.
and check out our Discord too. It's really cool. We barely talk about D&D.
Yeah. They put
Have
me
a good
ended on a
night.
strong note.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye.